impacting the business community. I'm a little nervous, Ro. I'm a little nervous. Congressman Ro Khanna of California's 17th district in the heart of Silicon Valley, and Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, venture capitalist, CNBC contributor. Thank you both for joining us. Ro, we go way back, and I follow you now on Twitter because we're kind of like TV buddies, and you're so reasonable when you come on Squawk Box. Since I started following you on Twitter, I think you need a disclaimer. It's like straight from the squad, the stuff you tweet. It is. It's like, or you're like a Bernie bro or something. So I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are anymore. But
progressive capitalist. Progressive capitalist.
Let's start with this, Ro. With what you've said, see, I think Kevin, a lot of the stuff that the president's trying to do or has already done, he thinks it's way too much already. I think you are disappointed at the pace of what you'd like to see being done by the president because it's not enough. Have I got that right?
I believe that the president actually has struck a balance. Look, I think tech is innovative. We have to have a balance. They have to be able to innovate. They have to be able to provide services to consumers that are in the consumer interest, but they shouldn't be taking exclusionary conduct. They shouldn't be discriminating against sellers. And I think actually the president's policies strike that balance.
Okay, we did intro it with that because there's new news this morning on the executive orders, but I'm talking more about proposed taxes, infrastructure, reconciliation, all the things I see you tweeting about, all the things that Kevin might talk about. Tech, I don't know. That's kind of a bipartisan thing, Kevin. I mean, both sides kind of have tech in the crosshairs at this point, maybe for different reasons. But you can comment on that, Kevin, and then go into just all that other stuff I just mentioned. And I think Ro is as I said, I'm not sure where. It's like Senator Elizabeth Warren's Twitter feed once in a while from Ro.
Well, let's start with this question. What problem are we trying to fix? This incredible economy and recovery we're involved in, the fact that G4 may be double-digit GDP growth, the fact that I can't even hire anybody right now. There's such huge demand for employees because I'm competing with the federal government subsidy checks. The fact that we enjoy some of the highest growth technology companies on earth versus no tech in Europe, where they already legislated out their technology. What exactly is wrong with America right now that we need to bring this heavy hand of legislative, I don't know what this is, because it's not policy, it's pure politics. The chance that any of this actually gets through Congress is probably zero, given that we're getting so close to midterms where every sitting president, regardless of party, loses seats. So how much do you want to try and jam through before this isn't even possible? Even Democratic politicians are asking themselves, do I really want to bash where all my jobs are created in the tech sector in my state? I don't think any of this makes a lot of sense. And it's not just tech. We're going after farming, healthcare, hydrocarbon infrastructure. Is every sector of the economy broken and needs the government to fix it right now? I don't think so. I'm just wondering where this is coming from and why now. Let me guess.
Yep.
Let me guess. I hear Elizabeth Warren getting more press than any other politician. AOC, lots and lots of press there. And my good friend Bernie Sanders, they get all the press. So Biden has to take care of all of that noise. And this is how it is manifesting itself.
I told you, Ro. I told you. See? He mentioned the same. But you do
Kevin gets a lot of press. He gets a lot of press, too. So
a lot of gooses laying golden eggs where you are, though, Ro. A lot of great things happening in Silicon Valley.
Of course.
Okay.
But I represent them. $11 trillion of market cap in the Bay Area. I love the growth. I love the innovation. But let me tell you about a couple of the harms that we have to address. I mean, the fact that rural newspapers across this country are going out of business because they don't have a model. Why not have some digital ad tech so that you can support local newspapers? By the way, a lot of their content is put on these sites. Look at brick and mortar stores across the country that are the mainstay of so many small towns. You know, the rural wealth since 2008, towns that have less than 50,000 people have seen declining wealth, declining jobs, while districts like mine have flourished. And what we're saying is let's have the innovation, but let's have small businesses, let's have communities have a good chance. Now, Kevin has made a great point. A lot of them will rely on digital ads to grow their business. So I am for a balanced policy. I'm not saying just break up all these companies, but what I'm saying is we need more inclusive growth in the digital economy, and some smart, well-crafted antitrust policies can get there.
That doesn't sound bad, Kevin. We got to get Roe going on all this other stuff, human capital that needs to be in the infrastructure plan or carbon stuff. You got to get him going on that, Kevin, if you want to hear him really, his true colors come out. But what he said right now, what Roe said there is reasonable.
Well, wait a second.
Joe,
as
what's
an
wrong with
investor,
human
I ask
capital?
myself a simple question. Do I feel, as smart as politicians are, do I feel they know more about the market than the market itself? The innovation that goes on in technology, in social media, in the digital economy happens at warp speed. It's market driven. It's really powerful. And I don't think any one individual or policy can really make it better. The market does the very best job. Just look at social media. Just 18 months ago, I wasn't spending a dime on something called TikTok. I didn't even know what it was. Now it's my fastest growth area of investing, a brand new platform that came out of nowhere. No politician saw that coming. The market saw it coming. It embraced it. It was working. And now it's a major competitor for the incumbents. Let the market do its work. It doesn't need policy to be successful. That's what makes America great. That's why it's working.
No, Roe, I didn't mean human capital is not important. I just don't know if it should be included in infrastructure, like the $6 trillion that you want to do. You call it all infrastructure, and that just seems, I don't know, that just seems like you're trying to sell us something that you've wanted for 40 years under a different name.
Well, let's call it human capital investment. I'm not stuck on the name. I'll tell you what I believe in this country. I believe that we ought to be investing in early childhood education because James Henkman, Nobel laureate at University of Chicago, free market economist, says it's the single best investment someone can make between the ages of when someone's born to the ages of 5. I believe in a digital age, K through 12 education isn't enough. You need some form of higher education, either community college, vocational training, or a 4-year degree. Instead of being in 20 years in Afghanistan, where we spent $700 billion, we could have provided an education for every person in this country up through college. I believe everyone ought to have health care. These aren't big things. Give everyone a shot to succeed in the free market. And look, I admire Kevin's success. He's one of the great entrepreneurs of our time. But my point is that there have to be some rules. Do you want Zuckerberg and Dorsey making all the rules of the internet? No, we want to have 10 different social media companies. So all I'm saying is let's have clear market rules, promote competition, allow new places to come to life, new businesses to rise, and look out for those rural papers, the small businesses. Make sure we're having policy that give them a little bit of a leg up in an economy that's doing great for my district.
Wow, I'm going long Roe Khanna. O'Leary, did you hear that? I'm listening to him going, he's right. He's right. Is he not right?
I would love to see the skinny infrastructure package passed. I can't see either side of the aisle disagreeing with the initiatives in there. But this massive spend on the other side of it makes me very, very nervous. I think we've stimulated our economy enough. We just don't need any more government support after the infrastructure package. Let America do its thing. I don't disagree with expenditures in wars, et cetera. That makes a lot of sense to me. I would have rather spent that domestically, but that's behind us now. And that's policy that's made by multiple administrations over a long period of time. But the American economy, I just want to report on the American economy. I deal with it every single day. It's on fire, like it was in the late 50s. We have never seen a renaissance like this. Please, I beg every politician on both sides of the aisles, don't mess with it. Stay away from it. Let it do its thing. We don't need any more help. What I'm looking forward to, and I don't want to be a skeptic here, and I really appreciate leadership, is get me back to gridlock right after the midterms. Please, let's lose a few seats in the House and be back at gridlock. That's what the economy needs.
Kevin, look, of course the American economy is on fire for people in my district. 136 trillion is the net wealth of American households. It's unprecedented. 11 trillion, I said, of the Bay Area companies. But what about all the folks who have been left out? What about the deindustrialization where manufacturing jobs went to China? What about all the small towns which you and I have gone to where they say our kids need a one-way ticket out? They don't want to leave Appalachia to come to Palo Alto. They don't want to leave their rural community to go to New York. We have to focus on how we're going to build the economy, wealth generation there, how we're going to give those places a chance. Why can't we invest in broadband? You know, the current bipartisan plan, it's good, but they're saying let's have copper wires there. They don't want fiber to rural America. I want to have fiber there. I want to have the latest technology.
Now you're talking. Now I love you. Now I love you. Let's go together to China and shut those guys down. I am such a hawk on China. I want a level playing field there. I'm getting screwed left and right in that place. They don't give us access to their courts. They steal my IP. They steal my products. I want more stick on China. I'm with you there. I love infrastructure. I'd like broadband everywhere. There are things to agree on, but not spending more money in a way that doesn't benefit business, which is the essence of what makes the job creation happen. 60% of our jobs in America come from small business. They need the technology. They need tech. They need social media. Leave it alone.
Kevin, I agree, but I studied economics, University of Chicago. Gary Becker, Nobel laureate, the late Gary Becker, he was a disciple of Milton Friedman. He wrote a paper. He said, single biggest thing that drives economic growth in a modern economy is human capital. That's not my insight. That was Gary Becker's insight. And all I'm saying is, look, we can agree there's wasteful spending in D.C. We can agree a lot of government job training programs don't work. But let's figure out what the productive investments are in people's human capability so that they have the shot you had, so that they have the shot I had, so that more people have basic education, basic credentialing, basic skills to succeed in a market economy.
I mean, this is, there's no winner here. We need a rematch. You're not used to this, O'Leary, are you? Someone that goes toe-to-toe. We got to do this again.
Joe, I'm just an investor trying to scratch out a living, and I ask myself, I have $1 in this hand and $1 in this hand. Do I want to give the dollar to American business or the American government? I want to give it all to American business because that's what grows the economy.
Ro, thanks to we'll talk other. You know, some of your other tweets are bonkers. Oh, Ro, we'll get to those next time, maybe. He tones it down when you come on.
You point it out, Joe.
You tone it down.
I already bid on your tweet. I already bid on your tweet. I own the blockchain to your original tweet.
That's right, you did. Thank you for that. All right, thanks to both of you. And seriously, let's make this a thing. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.
Breaking deal news.